Stewart Alexander. Alex Lowe was an American mountaineer. He climbed several peaks in North America and Asia and was well regarded by his peers. He died in an avalanche in Tibet. The Alex Lowe Charitable Foundation honors his legacy. Lowe's body was discovered on April 27, 2016, over 16 years after his death. Biography. In 1995, Lowe climbed an icicle in Highlight Canyon near Bozeman, Montana. While climbing in the lead, Lowe's section of ice snapped free. He fell 40 feet and sustained a severe cut to the head from his ice axe, which exposed part of his skull. Lowe later recalled what followed. "We kinda taped the scalp back into place, and put a hat on, and taped around the hat, and started skiing out. Kinda knew it was time to go to the but we also knew it was going to be a long evening there, so we stopped down at the coffee shop and got lattes. It was great. My clothes were saturated with blood. We parked in the handicap spot in front of the coffee shop, marched right in, and then headed for the hospital. On a climb up El Capitan in Yosemite, one of Lowe's climbing shoes was holed in the toe box. Instead of quitting, he completed the climb. Friends later recalled by wearing his shoe backward. Rescue on Denali. In June 1995, Lowe helped the National Park Service rescue several Spanish climbers on 20,320-foot Denali in Alaska. On the 9th of June, the group had been trapped for 4 days at 19,200 feet. Before a rescue team could assemble, one of the climbers fell 4,200 feet to his death from the mountain's upper west rib. The surviving climbers were all suffering from hypothermia. Lowe and 2 fellow climbers were immediately lifted by military helicopter to a plateau above the Spaniards, scaled down a 400 vertical foot, 50-degree slope of ice and rock to reach them, and determined that one needed immediate evacuation. Amid snowy conditions, he at first dragged, then carried him on his back up the steep slope at high altitude. In an incident that was photographically documented and can be seen at the 423 point in this video. Observing the dramatic rescue in adverse conditions, a park ranger commented, "Literally, single-handedly, saved several people. He picked one guy up who had frozen hands and feet and couldn't move and was literally inches from death." Sheesha accident. In September 1999, Lowe, Conrad Anker and David Bridges traveled to the 26,291-foot Himalayan giant Sheesha, the 14th highest peak in the world, as part of the 1999 American Sheesha ski expedition. Plans called for the elite trio to become the first Americans to ski down from the summit of an 8,000-meter peak, in this case via the Swiss-Polish route on the south face. Bridges was part of a 3-man film team that was to shoot an NBC documentary of the expedition for the North Face. During the roughly 3-week trek to base camp, the group chronicled the deeds through photographic and written essays at mountainzone.com. On October 5, they split into 2 teams as they searched for a route up the mountain. Lowe's group were crossing a flat glacier when a large serac broke loose 6,000 feet above and tumbled downhill. Lowe's team at first thought the slide posed no threat, and took photographs of it, before realizing that it was headed straight at them. Lowe yelled a warning to his team, all of whom ran. According to Anker, Lowe and Bridges may have attempted to escape by diving into a crevasse. Regardless, the 500-foot-wide avalanche swept over the 3 men. Anker was thrown a reported 100 feet by the wind blast, and suffered a lacerated head, 2 broken ribs, and dislocated shoulder, but emerged from the snow and led a rescue attempt that spanned a reported 20 hours in a large debris field measuring up to 20 feet deep. Neither Lowe nor Bridges were wearing a distress radio beacon, which might have helped rescuers pinpoint the bodies. Neither body was found until the 27th of April 2016, when two alpinists from Switzerland and Germany, Eli Steck and David Gottler, came across the remains of two climbers still encased in blue ice but beginning to emerge from the glacier. Prior to his death, Lowe commented on his upcoming Sheesha climb to Mountain Zone. It's been a passionate goal of mine to ski off an 8,000-meter peak. I guess there's a lot of people sort of looking to do this and try to ski off Everest. But for me, it's got to be an aesthetic and quality run, and Sheesha has the best ski line of any of the 8,000-meter peaks. It's just an absolutely straight shot right down the southwest face. That's going to be a good one. Quote. In 2008, the Mountaineers books published a memoir, Forget Me Not, by Jennifer Lowe Anchor that recounts life shared with Lowe, his death and the life she continued with Anchor. Forget Me Not won the National Outdoor Book Award for Literature in 2008. Climbing Achievements and Recognition. In 1995, Lowe received the American Alpine Club's Underhill Award for Outstanding Mountaineering Achievement, the highest honor in U.S. mountaineering. He climbed for nearly 10 years with the North Face professional climbing team, which included in the later years mountaineer John Krakauer, author of the bestseller Into Thin Air. After Lowe's death, Outside magazine posthumously declared him the world's best climber, adding, no matter how jaw-dropping his roots, Lowe's real genius grew out of the way he combined physical accomplishments with an indomitable spirit. Alex Lowe Peak, formerly known by its elevation as Peak 10,031, Alex Lowe Peak, south of Bozeman, Montana in the Gallatin National Forest, was officially named after him in September 2005. In spring of 1997, Alex Lowe climbed the northern Kuloya with friend Hans Sari. Upon reaching the summit, the two made a first ski descent down what they named Helmuth Kuloya Legacy. Lowe was critically praised for his mountaineering skills by his peers. Dave Hahn once remarked, "There's Alex Lowe up here, and then there's the rest of us down here. The guy's just really that much better than everybody else." Quote. In its obituary on Lowe, the New York Times quoted Conrad Anker as saying, "We're all at this one level, and then there's Alex." Lowe's obituary continued, "He was widely admired for excelling in every aspect of mountaineering, from rock and ice climbing to ski descents." Lowe himself rejected such descriptions, and said, "The best climber in the world is the one having the most fun." Lowe improved his upper body strength as a result of an exercise regimen that included 400 chin-ups and hundreds of dips. In an article for Active Lifestyle, Gordon Wiltsey, a photographer who climbed with Lowe in Antarctica and Canada's Baffin Island, said, "It hogged the pull-up bar to knock out 400 pull-ups in sets of 40 and 45. He disliked downtime and knew where to do pull-ups in many airports, even on expeditions, when rest is hard to come by and much appreciated." Lowe was an oddball. He'd cop pull-ups on a ship's rigging en route to Antarctica, or did dips in a snow pit he dug at base camp. Quote. In that article, Wiltsey said, "At Baffin Island, after hauling supplies to a high point on a climb, we went back to camp beat and tired. But Alex proceeded to do pull-up after pull-up. He even brought an exercise device on climbs." Quote. He was known jokingly as "Lungs with Legs" for his incredible strength and stamina. Climbing and skiing resume. Great Sail Peak, Baffin Island, 1998. New Routes, Mount Hunter's Moonflower Buttress, Alaska. Great Trango Tower, Pakistan, 1999. NW Face, New Route. Other climbs: Matterhorn K2, Pakistan, China, 1986. Mount Everest, South Colonel Route, Nepal, 1990 and 1993. Kantengri, Kyrgyzstan, solo ascent in 10 hours and 8 minutes. Mount Rundle, P. Canadian Rockies, Spring 1996. Troubled Dreams, first free ascent of one of the most difficult mixed climbs in the Canadian Rockies. Enclosure Kaloya, Grand Teton, Wyoming, 1994.